Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. Ours is a place where dreams take flight, voices are heard, and stories are shared. This is where cultures meet, connections are formed, and ideas are transformed into action. This is your destination for authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations. We're where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover our world of education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our USA Global TV channel and download our USA Global TV app. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. With heartfelt thanks to our executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, music scored by Yifei Tang from Cloud Road Music, creative direction by Paul Garcia, and I'm Al Cini, and I'm very proud to be part of the USA Global TV and Radio family. So join us here at USA Global TV and Radio. Make us your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Thank you for being a part of our global community. Let's inspire together.
Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, home of the YouTube Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. And that's just on our one channel. And now we've got almost 106,000. So you love us and we love you loving us. Thank you so much. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative, and it's in partnership with E360 TV. So thank you to all of our viewers across the world. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and you can see I'm wearing our logo merchandise. You'll find out more about that later. We'd love to have you rep our brand across the world. And our topic today is an interesting one on a woman's prerogative. This is the second woman's prerogative today, and hopefully we're going to take top 10 for the week after our show today. So we're going to be talking about embracing change, embracing how to stay resilient in an uncertain world. Joining me from Australia all the way across the world, where it's a day later and a different season, is Mariska du Preez. And she has been with me since the beginning. I know she loves when I say that, just like when she'll say her website is journey2discover.com. She is an ICF PCC certified coach, and she's also got another certification for teams. We're going to hear more about that. She's an author. She is a transformation and leadership coach. She's an expert presenter on Talking Heads. Let's take a look at this, folks. Hot off the press today. If I can get it up. Yes, there it is. Woo! Expert presenters. And Mariska is there with her cohorts. So let's bring her onto the show and find out what she's been up to. Hello, hello.
Hello. It feels like we haven't been doing a show for ages, and I know it hasn't been ages because you've just been traveling, and we have cheated just a little bit.
We did pre-record some shows, and then you were with Caroline last week, and that was fantastic because that's one of the top 10 shows. Actually, I forgot to tell you this. You had a top 10 show with me, which was from a different week, and you had a top 10 show with her all last week. So kudos to you for being in the top 10 twice. I think that means you're destined to get I am a top 10 TV show host t-shirt, mug, whatever it is you're going to buy from our store, right?
I definitely suspect that the top 10 t-shirt would be one of the ones coming my way to make sure that I can actually, I've done it now twice in 1 week and a couple of weeks, not necessarily consecutively, but there was a couple of weeks of top 10 shows. So
absolutely. You and I've had some top 10 shows. And by the way, my t-shirt came the other day and I couldn't wait to put it on. I was wearing it at the gym. No one asked me about it, but I thought, I don't care. I feel great about it because it's an accomplishment, right? It's those gold stars that you and I have talked about over the years that I've always been chasing. So, But, we have new people joining us all the time, as I've mentioned, and I'd love to have you share a little bit about yourself, because since you started, I think this would be a great place. Since you started with me almost 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, because we met in 2019 when we were taking a life coaching certification course from Goal Imagery. I'd love to have you talk about how you feel you've grown professionally since you and I met.
Oh, that is a big question. Let's see. So since we met, I have officially stepped into the coaching space and leadership development space a lot more. I have since done, I can't even count the amounts of trainings that I've attended and things that I've been doing and people that I've been working with and industries that I've been working with. So to me, it just feels like it grows and grows and grows and grows. And the latest bit of training that I have done has been my team coaching training, as you mentioned a little bit earlier on. So within the team coaching space, that's really around working with the team as a whole and ensuring that we become value creating teams in our spaces. And I know that a lot of leaders that I work with, typically I will work with the individual, so the leader themselves, and then they will work with the rest of their team. And in some instances, it is also very helpful to get somebody from outside to come and work with the whole team, see how that ecosystem works and what's going on within that space. So that is something that I'm very excited about and that I'm busy with at the moment. Other than that, I have also, Dr. Jacalyn, since we've met, I think moved 3 times, of which one of them was a whole country move, so jumping across the ditch from New Zealand to Australia, and all of the fun stuff that goes with that. And I also remember you moving quite a few times within that time period as well. And as I'm thinking back, I'm thinking 5 years, it feels short and it feels long all at the same time. There's so many things that happen, that some we foresee, some we have planned, and some of them we have not planned, or we only set an intention for it, and then we see it explode into something wonderful like USA Global TV and Radio. The first time me and you started off, you were still busy on a radio show.
That's true. That's very true. And it's funny because our topic today is about embracing change. And so you've been through a lot of things, and moving from one country to another, that's enormous. And I know since, I want to say 1999, I think I've moved 25 times, believe it or not. And sometimes it was back to the same place where I was, or around the same area. But every move, every change brings growth and brings opportunity. So I'm not opposed to embracing change at all. I think it's something that really helps get us out of our comfort zone. And in fact, I just took this European book and media tour, and I did it myself. So I went by myself. I planned the whole thing myself. I paid for it myself, because I used to be in corporate, where I sold meetings and events, and I would travel extensively, but everything was paid for. And everything was scheduled and everything was handled, and all the upgrades. And so as a business owner, it was really thrilling to me to be able to accomplish all of that, plus meet all the people I met and teach my class. And I could go on and on and on. So I just feel like since you and I met, we met for a reason, and we've stayed together all this time, even though we've never met in person yet. But we definitely have formed a friendship and a relationship through working together remotely, which I think is so cool.
It is. I think one of the wonderful things that we have in the time and space we are living in right now is the fact that we have literally shrunk the world. And we can get hold of anybody at any point, preferably within a reasonable time when you have time zone differences. But it makes it so wonderful to be able to meet all sorts of different people. And Dr. Jacalyn, as you mentioned, we have done a lot of different types of work together, right? We wrote a book together, we wrote a song together, we're doing the show together. There's so many different ways of collaborating and working together. And we would not have been able to do this if we were still sitting in a cave.
It's very true. I think, honestly, we've talked about this, about the pandemic. As horrible as it was, a lot of good things came out of it. I mean, I know we lost a lot of people, passed away, and people lost their businesses. And on the positive side, which I always try to look at the positive side, is people had to reinvent themselves in a lot of ways, and people had to find different ways of doing business. And while it had a huge impact here in the States on commercial real estate, I'm sure other places as well, because people weren't going into an office, we had to reinvent ourselves. And so this platform came out of that, believe it or not. And it came out of the fact that my mother had dementia, and I was her full-time caregiver for 3.5 years. And had she not had dementia, I wouldn't be living with her. I wouldn't have been taking care of her, and I wouldn't have been in the house. When I wouldn't have had a green screen, I wouldn't have been live streaming for 10 hours a day. And, I'm sorry that happened to her, obviously, and she passed away from something completely unrelated that we didn't know about. But I was able to start this and to do this. And I guess it was my calling, and I guess it's your calling too.
Yeah, I remember when we first have the conversation about the dream that you had and seeing it grow, and it's continuously growing, right? And it's almost like there's a dream and there is a direction for that dream. And as we grow, it changes and it evolves and it becomes more and better. I mean, if you think back 2 years back, right, would you have imagined having different satellite offices in inverted commas, because we are all online, worldwide?
No, absolutely not. I couldn't have imagined it. And I just today, right before this show, I got an email where I've been nominated by Dr. Justina Matali. You remember Dr. Justina? She's nominated me for one of these top global women entrepreneurs, empowerment leaders. I'm going to be going to Washington for the awards ceremony. And no, I couldn't have imagined that. I couldn't have imagined the YouTube Creator Works. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even watch YouTube. I couldn't imagine E360 or Zizzle, because I never heard of streaming platforms. And so where it's gone, where it's going, it's amazing. And now we have these country partners, and it's almost like, I think of like train the trainer. So if I train people to be mini me's, they can go out into the world and they can share our story with people in their countries to get more people to come and share their stories here. Because Mariska and I know that we have already created a legacy that will live long after we are gone. And it's all about world-class education. So when you think about how to stay resilient in an uncertain world, to me, I feel like if you have ever been on a train, for example, or something that's moving, and if your legs are completely straight and your knees are locked in, you might fall over. You have to bend your knees and be able to sway with the train or the subway. And that's how I feel life is. It ebbs and flows. And to me, it's, things are going to happen that are not going to be the best. I had my apartment flooded. I had to move into a hotel for 3 weeks. I got ulcerative colitis really badly, like I think the worst I've ever had. I mean, things happen, but at some point it's going to end and something good is going to happen, because that is how life is. So when I say to you, what are your thoughts about trying to take the emotion that's associated with change and embracing it and thinking about, why is this happening for me, instead of why is it happening to me? What are your thoughts about happening for you as a gift?
I think that is a very, very good question to ask ourselves. Is the for and not to? So changing that one little word makes such a big difference, because then we can see what is it that I can take from this experience that I'm in. How can I potentially grow from it? What can I learn from it? How can I, even if there's nothing other that I learn from it than what to avoid next time around, I have still learned something. So understanding that that is a for us, it is happening not to us, but for us to grow, for us to be better human beings, for us to get something from it. And it reminds me of a quote from, I think it's Einstein, that mentioned that, and I'm most probably going to butcher the poor thing, quote, said, not Einstein, he's already dead. It is around the way that we look at the world, whether we see magic in it, whether we see the things as magic or whether we see the things as not magic. That is how we will then experience it. And to me, that question that you just posed, with the difference between to me and for me, makes the difference between whether I see the world as magical or not. Because it's literally, it's a choice. It's a choice that we have as to how we perceive things. And I remember one of my multiple moves that we went through, I was very intentional in that move. And I said, well, I want this move to feel really, really good. And I want to do a mindful move. So yes, in a move, you still need to pack, you still need to arrange things. There's still going to be things that doesn't work out the way that you want. And all of that happened to a degree. The thing is, because I decided that it is happening for me and I want to make this a mindful move, I was able to, in every situation, at every point, choose to be mindful about the way that I approach it. So whether it was packing mindfully, whether it was having a conversation and working out how I want to come across a obstacle that I might face, or things that didn't quite fit into the container, because that was one of the things that happened. Being able to be mindful helped me to actually tick that one move as one of my best moves that I've ever had, because it was a mindful move. And that was happening for me, not to me. So Dr. Jacalyn, I really think that one word, language, has so much power. That one word makes such a big difference to how we experience life, especially when we actually be it and not just think it.
Absolutely. I completely agree with what you shared. And I think another part about embracing change, I'm now 62. Obviously, if we have the gift of still being here, the numbers continue going up. And I think it was earlier this year, right around my birthday, that I started thinking to myself, okay, so much of my life is behind me, and maybe I have 20, 25 years left if I'm lucky and blessed. So I'm going to embrace change, and I'm going to put myself out there, because this is my shot. This is my chance to take away all those restraints. If you think about it, I don't have a husband, I don't have children, I own my own business. There's definitely things that are advantageous about all of those things, because I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have to check with anyone. You know, there's downsides too, I guess. I don't see them. But I think to myself, at this stage of my life, I'm going to do a lot of traveling. I just decided I'm going back to London. I'm going to Dubai in December. And I just put it out to the universe. I've got 5 trips coming up, and I say to myself, I don't know how I'm doing all of this, but you know what? I'm going to do it, because I'm putting it out there. I'm embracing the change. I love going and meeting our team members and giving them a hug and just saying, thanks for your loyalty. Thanks for being here all these years. You know, how's it been for you? And obviously, like I said earlier, you know, you and I have had many conversations over the years, just 2 friends chatting. And it's such a nice feeling to know that what we've built is more than just superficial and more than just, oh, we're just doing a podcast. I hate when people say, somebody said to me, have you ever thought of doing a podcast? I actually laughed in his face. I said, obviously you don't know what we do. We do live streaming television and our shows become podcasts afterwards, but it's just such a gift to be able to do this. And it's all based on the foundation of embracing change.
Yes, because it took a lot of change just to step into this initially. I remember the conversations we had, and I also remember all the things that we weren't sure about. And that's one of the things I think for me, I don't know most other people, but for me, one of the big things about change is we don't really know, right? These things that's unknown, these uncertainties within that space. If I move to a new town, will I get friends? Will I get a coffee shop that I like? I don't know. I haven't moved there yet, so I haven't discovered whether I will or won't. The thing is, yes, I will if I actually take myself into those spaces. And also, yes, I won't if I don't take myself into those spaces. So both of them can be true at the same time when we are standing at the entrance towards that opportunity. And understanding that we are creating it as we go, I mean, that makes a big, big difference. And Dr. Jacalyn, what you mentioned around this platform being built on change, that's one of the things that I think is also making it thrive the way it's thriving, because it is continually evolving. It started with something small. It started with just a couple of shows, and it evolved, and it's continuously evolving. And as we get more team members that has other ideas about things, thank goodness, yes, we do not do podcasting. This is all live. So you guys will be as surprised as I will be at whatever comes out of my mouth. It's not rehearsed. It's not scripted. It is live. And that's part of what I find fun about it. And I don't know what Dr. Jacalyn is going to say either. So
You have
makes it fun.
Sometimes you don't even know what the topic is. You don't even know what we're
Exactly.
going to talk about. And I just love that because it's so authentic. I just read about another interview. This is the second time for A-list celebrities being interviewed, where the interviewer has extensive background, from some of the big media houses, and made the interview all about themselves and asked questions that specifically they were told not to ask. And in this case, I'm referring to Harrison Ford in an interview that he was doing. And he basically, from what I read, just walked off the set and said, and I don't understand why people don't realize when you're interviewing someone, they're the hero of the show. You're not. If you want to be a hero, have someone interview you who uses the same philosophy. But we get to interview people and put them in the spotlight and make them feel safe. And in the show that you and I are doing, we feel safe with each other, obviously, because we've been working together for years and we're friends and we want the best for each other. I know you want me to do well and I want you to do well. And so I think that really makes a huge difference.
It does. And I agree with you. It's when I'm interviewing somebody, it's like having a conversation. When have we ever, so if we just think about ourselves, when have we ever felt that we have had the best conversation ever? It's typically when other people ask us about ourselves, right? And we get to talk about ourselves. So, of course, if I'm interviewing somebody, I want them to feel really, really good about the interview. So I'm going to ask them questions about them, not me.
That's so true. And I don't know why people don't realize that. In the courses that I teach about listening, you ask a powerful question. It's a coaching technique as well. And then you stop talking and you let the other person answer. And there might be silence. You might be looking at each other and no one's saying anything. But as the elevated listener, as the coach, as the interviewer, you give the other person the time and the space to think about their answer instead of just forcing them to say whatever it is. If you give them that time and space, they're going to come up with something that could be really profound.
And that's what happens when we ask questions. I mean, we don't know what the other person may or may not be thinking. And to me, that's one of the wonderful things. It's one of the reasons why I love coaching so much, is I get to explore with that other person what's happening for them by asking a question that they might not have thought about, or they might not have verbalized. So they might have thought about it, but they never said anything to anyone else for a number of reasons. Or it might be something that they have just not thought about, because we all have different viewpoints. So by asking them the question, I get to explore other ways of thinking, other ways of being, other ways of experiencing the world through this other person's eyes. And the only way to do that is to ask the question and then to keep my mouth shut, because otherwise I won't know. And Dr. Jacalyn, I know that within the listening space, you teach that. And for all the people that's on this platform, if you get interviewed by them, that's what they will do. Because we want to know from you what it is that you think and how you think about it and what it is that you see in the world, because we all have different views, no matter, even if we live in the same house and we were brought up by the same parents and we had all the same things, that it seemed like we had all the same things, we still think different to the other sibling that we have, because we're not the same.
Great point. Thank you. And we do have a comment from someone. And when you think about embracing change, I think this is really terrific. We have a comment from Leanie Harrington Clark. I am watching live. Thank you so much for watching. And this is, I think, an interesting story. We are both friends with someone and we're invited to an incredibly elaborate wedding, the most beautiful wedding I've ever been to. I would say Jeff Bezos probably topped this wedding, but I don't know, it was close. And so Leanie and I never met each other before. I definitely heard about her. And so we ended up spending the entire reception practically together, even though we had just met. And so the two of us were kind of islands that were alone, because our mutual friend obviously was entertaining the guests and the family and was being pulled in all different directions. And so Leanie and I ended up spending the reception together and actually left together, and I dropped her at her hotel, and now we are forming our own friendship. And it was because we embraced change. We could have said, well, I don't know anyone at this wedding, or I came here to see my friend and my friend's tied up at the wedding for obvious reasons. But instead, we came together and are forming our own friendship. So talk about embracing change. Leanie, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. So you just never know where things are going to go. And so part of what I want people to take away from this show about embracing change is opportunities will come. Are you open to receiving them? I know sometimes people will have to analyze the thing to death, and by the time they're done analyzing it, it's already too late. And what I'd love to have you comment on, Mariska, because I don't know if it's the same way in your country as it is here in the States. I should say in what it was in New Zealand, as Australia compared to the United States. But there are opportunities that present themselves on social media. People will contact you and say, you know, hey, I'd love to do this with you. I'd love to do that with you. And obviously there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of people posing as humans, but they're robots, or it's cryptocurrency or something. But I will really analyze what the opportunity is to a degree and make a decision. I think this is a real opportunity that I'm going to do some additional research on, or I'm actually not interested in this. And then I will look at, okay, maybe I'm going to embrace this and see how I can learn from it. And I'll give you an example. I get a number of newsletters from people that I guess I signed up for years ago. I don't know who the people are now, what they're doing, but I'm learning what they're doing. And by taking their newsletter and reading what it is they're doing, I'm learning some things that I can do for this platform, for our team. And some people would say, well, if I'm on a newsletter list and I don't remember subscribing, I'm automatically opting out. Okay, lost opportunity to learn something. If somebody sends me an email, I get a lot of emails about, would you be interested in having us clean your building? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't own this building, so you don't have to clean it. But I might write back to the people and just say, I'm not sure where you got my information, but it's inaccurate. And then I have a conversation with that person who now becomes a contact who knows other people doing X, Y, and Z. So I look at everything as a potential opportunity. So what about there in Australia when you have people contact you and they're looking for solicitations? Do you automatically say no? This might be a personal thing as opposed to a countrywide thing.
So for me, I'm with you on the looking at the opportunity from doing some research, seeing whether this is something that I want to do, not want to do, and then going towards the spammy side of things. In New Zealand, it wasn't as bad. In Australia, for some odd reason, we get phone calls every now and again. And then if you stay on the line for long enough, it's an automatic robot-y thing. You can hear the person just speaking normal. Interrupting won't help. It goes into Mandarin or one of the Asian country languages. I think it's most probably Mandarin. And then I sort of know that that's a scam. So I'll just put the phone down. So I have now come to a stage, unfortunately, because it happens so often, that if I don't know the number, I don't answer it. Which means if they phone, they will need to leave a message. If it's a human being, they will leave a message saying, this is what it's about, please phone me back. If it was the machine, 9 times out of 10, I don't get a message and it's just a missed call. So I know not to worry about it. So it's interesting how those things are different. And I also agree with you on the newsletters. I mean, I've signed up for newsletters for a reason, right? If for whatever reason, it is not the season for those newsletters anymore, I will then unsubscribe. And if it's still something that I'm interested in, or it is something where I feel that I can learn from it, Dr. Jacalyn, I am absolutely with you. Look at what people do, what's working, what's not working, and then implement it for yourself. I mean, that's part of how we grow. That's part of how we learn. And who knows, they might have something that you really enjoy, and then you can sign up for it at that point in time. So yes, that's sort of my philosophy around solicitations that may or may not be scammy in nature.
Thank you for sharing that. And I have another example of embracing change. I got a call from someone I went to high school with, although she's in a different class, and we were not friends per se, but I knew of her. And she invited me to attend this retreat. And I might have told you about it. It was in New Jersey. And at the time, this was maybe 2 months ago, it was about a 2.5 hour drive for me. And I didn't know anyone. I thought the fee to go was reasonable. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go. And of course, the day of, this always happens. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like going. I don't know if you ever have that. I'm like, why did I sign up? I don't want to do it. So of course, I like to honor my commitments. So I drive there and I go there and I attend the event. And I honestly had no idea why the universe brought me there. I really don't know. I thought maybe it was to meet the woman who invited me because I hadn't seen her in, I think, 40 years. I'm not sure. So I stayed overnight at the inn. It was a beautiful place. And the next day I started walking around and I thought, universe, can you tell me, why am I here? I don't understand. And all of a sudden, as I'm looking around at the grounds, I thought, I'm supposed to have a retreat here. That's it. I'm supposed to have a retreat here. I've never done a retreat before. Of course, I came from a background of meetings and events in corporate, but I didn't arrange them. I didn't schedule them. I sold them and other people facilitated. So I met with the owner. I signed my children's books for him, for his kids. And then I talked about this retreat. And I said, listen, the kind of person I am, if I tell you I'm going to do it, I'm doing it. So I don't know if you really believe me or not, but as soon as I got back, I'm like, send me the photographs of the property, do this, do that. So then I went to Europe, and the whole time I was thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do it? So I met with the owner again. I got the dates. Well, lo and behold, I put it on Eventbrite. It is up, and we have people who have already signed up. And if I didn't go to that event, if I didn't take the phone call, if I didn't say yes, if I didn't drive there, then I wouldn't be doing the retreat. And I have to say, while we're on TV, Al Cini is coming to the retreat. So anybody who knows Al Cini has been with me since the beginning. He's had a very illustrious career at NBC, and he's been my mentor for years, and he's been ABC. So he knows television. And for him to take the time to come to the retreat, I'm teaching my class, Setting Boundaries and Asking Permission. And then we've got power networking. We've got a private dinner with a private chef. We've got some more networking around the fire pit. So the point is, I just took a chance. I embraced the change, and now I'm doing a retreat.
I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. And it's almost like the universe is it always works in mysterious ways, sort of going, well, this is your new thing that you are doing. And you remember way back when you were young and things were different. You had this other life where you learned other things. We're going to use some of that right now for a retreat.
That's right. That's right. We're actually coming to the end of the show, but something else I wanted to share is I was getting a lot of pushback maybe 2 years ago from people saying, what are you doing exactly? What do you think you're going to be, a celebrity? And I would just look at them and say, I'm not trying to be a celebrity. I don't care about being a celebrity. I care about bringing people together, creating a global community, and teaching elevated listening through television, and giving people a place where they can feel safe being interviewed. And lo and behold, that is exactly what we have done. And so those people who were the naysayers are no longer part of my life, which, I think you and I have talked about this before. Relationships are like a tree. The tree has the roots, it has the leaves, it has the branches. So some people like you are the roots, the foundation. And then some people who are guests, they come, they're like the leaves. They come and then they go. And then they're the branches that are supporting the leaves. So everything has its time and its place. But I feel like at this age now, and maybe it started 2 or 3 years ago. It started while I was taking care of my mother. I started trusting my intuition, and that's what I'm doing. I never listened to my intuition. I would ask a zillion people their opinions about things. And now I don't have to ask anyone. There's no one to ask. I just make the decisions myself. And this way, I'm either going to succeed at it or I'm going to learn something from it and put the learning into something else.
And I love the fact that you have stepped into listening to your intuition, because the universe, first off, right, wants the best for all of us. It wants the sun to shine over all of us. And we need to listen. We need to keep our mouth shut, keep our brain to be calm and quiet. Listen. Because it is telling us what to do, at which point to do it, where to step into, what direction to take. And if we don't listen, we miss it. And then we get upset. Like, well, what are they to do if we don't listen? So listening skills, not only in human conversations, but also in life, is a really, really good thing to learn. So if you are wondering about listening skills, I would suggest that you go and speak to Dr. Jacalyn about that, so that you can learn how to bring it into your normal relationships and maybe even your life relationship a little bit more.
Thank you so much, Mariska. I really appreciate that. We're going to close out with a couple of things I just want to share with people, and I'm going to share with you while you're here too. So what I have on the screen right now is about the listening retreats, and they're all various types of tickets that we have put together, different packages. So you can come for the course, which it says it's just the course only, but it's actually the course, the power networking, the fire pit, retreat journal, certificate of completion, what it doesn't include. Then we have the full day experience. And this is on September 18th. Then we have where you can actually stay overnight on the property, includes cold plunge, jacuzzi, sauna. I mean, the works, there's a lot here. And I also want to share something else when it comes to certificates. We have a brand new team member who just got her certificate of completion. Amanda Holstrom, congratulations. Amanda is, she lives in Indonesia and she also lives in Canada. So she took my course when she was in London. Congratulations. We're happy to have you with us. And then the other thing I just want to share, which you and I had talked about a little bit earlier, is about our wonderful store. So here's our store, USA Global TV and Radio. And we have a number of wonderful items that people can look at. So I'm just going to pull up for women. Let's just look at all. So we are actually walking, USA Global TV and Radio is walking through the Crohn's Colitis Foundation. I'm on the board, and I'm also a patient since 1991. This disease has tried to break me, but I won't let it. So we've got that for people who are going to be joining me for the Guts and Glory Walk. And then we also have, of course, many other things that are not related to the Crohn's Colitis Foundation. If I can get to them, let's see. We have... we've got a lot for Crohn's colitis. Okay, we've also got some T-shirts in various with various things on them. For example, I'm an elevated listener. So everyone who takes my initial course, Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening, becomes an elevated listener, and then they're actually on our team at USA Global TV and Radio. So let's just take a look at a couple of other things I wanted to show you specifically as a top 10 TV show host. We have these wonderful things for people to wear if you are a top 10 TV show host, and you are. So there you go. I don't know if you want to wear a baby bodysuit, but if you do, it is there for the choosing.
It might be a bit tight, I'm thinking.
Here's something I think that would be better for you. It's a T-shirt that will fit you. I love that. And of course, comes in all different colors. And the beautiful thing is that this company ships worldwide. There are only 4 countries it doesn't ship to. And I believe there's reasons for that, which I don't know what they are, but they're not shipping to these 4 countries. So most places in the world, they do ship. So there's plenty of things for everyone. If you've ever been a guest, if you're a fan, if you just want to support the movement, please go and buy something and show your pride for USA Global TV and Radio, not just for me, but for all the people who are here on our platform, bringing their top professionalism and world-class education. And that, my friend, is you, Mariska.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I love the fact, I know how fond you are of merchandise. And I love the fact that even this has been growing, right? The merchandise store, I think, has been available now for almost a month.
Almost a month. And what I'll do is I'll sit down and I'll think, what other logo creation can we have? So as you know, you are one of our expert talking heads. And so Talking Heads now has their own wonderful logo. Let's see if I can find this quickly. Here it is. Let's see if it's going to upload for me. It's uploading. So let's just take a look at this. And you can buy merchandise that has Talking Heads expert presenter. And as you know, as an expert presenter for all these years, it's hard work to have a presentation that you are the only person there and you are giving the content. It's a lot. So get your T-shirt and be proud that you are an expert presenter and you're also on A Woman's Prerogative. And that, my friend, is where we're ending our show, because our distributor, one of them, E360 TV, will be cutting us off soon for the next show. And we have Justin Merigliani here for his next show. What is the best way for people to reach you, Mariska, and how can they do it?
So best way of reaching me is via email, which is Mariska, Mariska, @journey2, as Dr. Jacalyn said at the beginning of the show, the number 2, www.jacalyn-discover.com. So that's my email address. And alternatively, you can also get hold of me on LinkedIn. So I also do have a website. If you want to go and browse the website, you are more than welcome to do so. It is also a journey to the number 2 discover.com. So you can find me on my website, on my email, or alternatively on LinkedIn. And of course, if you have any partnering that you want to do around your leadership, growing yourself as a leader, or even your team, do get in contact and we can see how we can work and collaborate together. And as me and Dr. Jacalyn discussed throughout the show, there's no boundaries as long as we are both in a time zone that sort of overlaps in a space where neither one of us are asleep. It works. So do contact me and then we can see how we take our conversations from there.
Thank you, Mariska. And for anyone who's watching on their live or the replay, please do go and connect on LinkedIn. Do you realize what a valuable platform LinkedIn is? And I know myself, I've made major connections that have taken me places I never thought I would go just through LinkedIn. All right, we're going to close out now with one of our sponsorships about our merchandise store. Yay! And we'll be back with Justin Merigliani and his show, You as a Whole, Body, Mind, and Soul. And Mariska, I think we can catch you. Is it this week on Talking Heads or next week?
I think it's this week, as far as I remember. I will go and double check my calendar, but I think it's this week.
All right, thank you. Well, you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday morning, and we will enjoy the rest of our Monday evening here on the East Coast of the US of A. All right, bye for now.
Bye for now.
Get ready to wear the brand that's changing the world of media. Introducing the official USA Global TV and Radio online store. From our TV show hosts to our incredible global guests, you asked, we delivered. Rep your appearance with pride. Whether you've been on air, hosted a show, or tuned in, we have something just for you. Visit us at usaglobaltvradiosshop.myspreadshop.com and start shopping today. Check back frequently. We're dropping fresh new designs all the time. Showcase your role in our global community. These designs celebrate your voice, your story, your presence. It's more than just merchandise. It's a movement of hope, inspiration, education, and elevated listening. Head to usaglobaltvradiosshop.myspreadshop.com. Your spotlight awaits. USA Global TV and Radio. Elevate your style. Elevate the world.
From the magical world of the amazing adventures of Lady Ella comes a heartwarming new journey filled with kindness, courage, and compassion. Lady Ella, the beloved ladybug and listening mentor, is back, and this time she is not alone. Meet her brave and thoughtful brother, Lord Jack. Together, they take flight on their very first kindness adventure. Along the way, they meet 3 new friends in need: a duck feeling discouraged, a mouse struggling to be understood, and a busy little bee who's completely lost. But with the power of elevated listening and simple acts of kindness, Lady Ella and Lord Jack show us how understanding and empathy can make the biggest difference in someone's day. Written by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the listening mentor, this 9th book in the best-selling Lady Ella series teaches children ages 5 to 10 the essential skills of listening, kindness, and etiquette. Now available for pre-order on Amazon. Scan the QR code and order your copy today.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the journey from a spark to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang. Creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Now an Amazon #1 new release in paperback and ebook. Broadcasting Brilliance, the evolution of USA Global TV and Radio, is inspiring readers around the world. Join the movement that's redefining global media one story at a time.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by executive producer and director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.